Hello, I'm Mark Ells, Barnstable Town Manager, and this is my Town Manager communication for April 23rd, 2024. We're proceeding with the budget action calendar for FY25. I've recently held a public fee hearing back on March 19th for proposed fiscal year 25 fee changes. Comments were accepted through April 19th of 2024, and the FY 2025 proposed fee changes were approved on April 22nd, 2024. The FY 25 proposed capital program and FY 25 to 29 capital plan has been submitted to the town council and is available on the town website for viewing. Public hearings on the capital improvement plan orders are scheduled to begin this Thursday, April 25th. At our April 3rd, 2024 meeting, the school committee, at their April 23rd meeting, the school committee voted to recommend the school department's fiscal year 2025 proposed operating budget. The vote was unanimous with all 5 members present voting in the affirmative. The school department's fiscal year 2025 proposed operating budget totals $92.3 million. I've forwarded this proposed budget to our finance director, and it will be incorporated into the town of Barnstable proposed FY 2025 operating budget for consideration by the town council. And for all information on our fiscal year budget, please view the town's open budget website on our on our Town of Barnstable webpage and in our finance department. As previously reported, and in response to requests by town council and the public regarding monitoring the activation of the Vineyard Wind cable landing at Covell's Beach, I continued discussions with Vineyard Wind as recently as today regarding regular communications with the town of Barnstable on safe and compliant operation of their system. Vineyard Wind is still developing informational signage to be installed at the site to illustrate location and other project information so that those who visit Covell's Beach may have access to such information. The informational signage will be installed shortly once we review it and agree to it. They're preparing a means of public access to information regarding issues of concern such as electromagnetic frequency, as well as other safety compliance aspects, so that the public will know that the system is functioning in a safe and compliant manner. The Assistant Secretary for Government Affairs at the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs called me regarding providing verification from the state that the Vineyard Wind project is in fact safe and compliant with all state permits. I await further action by state officials on this, but they did indicate that they would provide that, for this and certainly future projects if they occur. In addition, the town of Barnstable has met with an independent third-party expert to assist when needed in verification of such safety issues, and we will continue to inform you as we progress on this matter. Back on April 4th, 2024, I sent a letter to our governor regarding concerns about the town of Barnstable has regarding safety and compliance of wind projects. Because they land here, they traverse our roadways, as well as the large-scale electric generating projects that are associated with these, specifically the grid and the substations that are located certainly along through Cape Cod, but in Barnstable. In recent conversations with State Senator Sear and Representative Diggs, I've raised my concerns regarding a community's liability and risk in the event of a catastrophic failure of any of the physical components of these large-scale electric generating projects, particularly the substations, which use large volumes of oil and other materials. We believe the state, as the permitting entity for these generating projects, should be responsible for taking an active role in ensuring project compliance with all permitting requirements, including designating a state compliance officer for such projects. As I referred to in the previous item, we've already received a call from Executive Office of Environmental Affairs, and they're working on that. We further believe that the state should affirmatively agree to backstop the project owner by being prepared to undertake an immediate emergency response and be responsible for the cost of responding to and remediating any catastrophic event in the event that the project owner does not or cannot do so. I did receive a call from the governor's office as a follow-up to the letter that I referenced in the beginning of this item. They're looking for specific information on the type of assurances the town would recommend. And we've taken this under advisement, and we will provide a response in the near future. For at least 2 of these letters I've sent out last month, we have had response, and we are working with the state relevant to providing the types of supports that we believe are necessary to accompany these scale of project. Since our presentation on Groundwater 101 and a subsequent special meeting on PFAS, the Town Council President and I have been discussing establishing a water quality advisory committee to provide the town manager and town council with advice and information necessary to ensure the protection of the quality and quantity of water within the town. Those are ongoing discussions as to how best to do this, whether it's a town council or a town manager committee, but it would be broadly represented in our community, and certainly including all of the water purveyors in our community. We used to have one of these back in the 1990s into 2000, when we were doing comprehensive planning for our delineation of our zones of contribution to our public water supply. And I see no reason why it wouldn't be something to consider doing again, given many of these discussions we're having about water resource protection. So I'll keep you advised as these efforts advance. On April 19th, the Director of Public Works shared 2 videos explaining the town's proposed nitrogen improvement and new headworks facilities project, which is currently ranked #1 on the Clean Water State Revolving Fund intended use plan. Below, I've attached these 2 videos for your review, and certainly, hopefully, generation of any further questions you may have relevant to what we're doing, relevant to our waterworks at the Water Pollution Control Division, and then listening to a conversation in general about wastewater between our Assistant Director of Public Works and our water supervisor at the Water Pollution Control Division. It's being organized by our communications manager, Kelly Colby, who you'll hear from later in this update. But we hope that this is helpful information to everybody on these complex issues, because these are needed improvements at the treatment plant to satisfy regulatory requirements and to protect our environment. So please, if you have the time, it tells you the time on each, so you can kind of budget yourself, but definitely worth watching. And then any questions you have, we're available. On January 30th, 2024, the town of Barnstable hosted a workshop as part of our opioid settlement fund community engagement process, and over 80 people were in attendance who contributed their time, energy, experience, insight, and ideas. We are still in the process of gathering community input, so we are not yet synthesizing our data. The town council was previously forwarded the raw output of the workshop. If you were unable to attend the workshop in January, or if you know someone whose voice should be heard and included, please see the attached invitation for our upcoming focus groups. we are gathering in the following manner. We've listed 4 different groups and locations. These groups are limited to 20 people at a time, but certainly we will entertain any of your requests. So take a look at this information and let us know if you would like to participate. And there's a link here in my communication that you can go in and take a look at when you have time. Town staff, in coordination with town council leadership, discussed the status of the housing production plan subsequent to the town council meeting. An updated draft of the plan will be available on the town's housing website for review. We will issue communications to inform the public of its availability and invite comment. The updated draft will be presented to the Housing Committee for feedback. Public comment will be gathered and posted, and amendments will be put forward for consideration. Following this, the draft plan will be forwarded to the Planning Board. The plan will then proceed to Town Council Committee to assess and recommend strategies for housing creation within the town of Barnstable and the Town Council for its final adoption. We'll keep you advised as all of these efforts related to the housing production plan proceed. That concludes my update for town manager update for April 23rd, 2024. And at this time, I'll invite Kelly Colby, our communications manager for the Public Works Department, to provide an update on water resource management planning, including our comprehensive wastewater management. Thank you.
Hello, Kelly Colby from the Department of Public Works, and I will be walking you through our water resources management update. First, we will take a look at the Strawberry Hill Road sewer expansion project, where we are currently working through our project punch list. As previously reported, there was a repair needed to the pipe entering the Strawberry Hill Road pump station. That work and all needed testing has since been completed, and we are continuing to advance towards first connections for a portion of the project route. We do expect those connection notifications to be distributed this coming spring. We're actually targeting May as of right now, and have been collaborating with various town departments to work out the communications cadence. So typically what you will experience if you are eligible as a first connection for this project is you will receive a project completion letter to be distributed by the Department of Public Works, which essentially will tell you that we are, officially closing out the project and give you information about what you can expect for future communications. Following that communication from the Department of Public Works, folks will receive an estimated assessment. This letter will be generated from the Treasurer's Office and will essentially give you an idea, or as we said, an estimation of what your sewer assessment will be. Next will come the sewer connection notification, which will be distributed by the Health Division. And as I mentioned, we are targeting a May distribution date as of right now. And that will be followed by your final sewer assessment, which will also be distributed by the Treasurer's Office. So we are looking forward to having this first wave of notifications for connections into the newly expanded municipal sewer system in short order, just over the next couple of weeks. Next, we'll shift over to the Route 28 East Sewer Expansion Project. As previously reported, we had some miscellaneous work that needed to be completed. One item being drainage improvements on Finney's Lane. That work has since started. It actually started this week on Monday, April 22nd, and does require a small closure, one that anyone that lives in the area is very familiar with, on Finney's Lane, specifically between Strawberry Hill Road and Waquaket Lane. These drainage improvements are anticipated to take about 3 weeks' time, and once those are completed, we'll continue to look at the schedule for additional restoration of that portion of the project route. We have started restoration on Route 28, so paving has started as of this week, also on Monday, April 22nd, and we are paving disturbed areas in 3 sections. On the following slide, I will show you exactly what those 3 sections are to give you a visual of where the paving efforts are taking place. This work is actually happening overnight. So as a way to mitigate traffic impacts on Route 28, all of the paving operations are occurring from 7 o'clock p.m. until 6 o'clock in the morning. And this is Monday through Thursday evenings, so no paving on Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. This work is also anticipated to take 3 weeks. With that, we are developing our project punch list similarly to how we handled the closeout that we're working through for Strawberry Hill Road. And we will anticipate having sewer connections for this project, the Route 28 East project, potentially available as early as the end of this calendar year. Now, with that, before we take a look at the paving map, just a note on the Finney's Lane pump station, we're really in project closeout mode for this project as well, finalizing utility services and the asphalt driveway at that location. And as promised, a visual. So this is where we are currently working through paving restoration on Route 28. You'll see that first section, which is effectively Route 28, just across from the pump station at Finney's Lane to West Main Street. That is the section that is being worked on currently this week. We had our first night of activity last night, and we're very successful in the milling of that portion of the roadway. We'll continue that work through the rest of this week and then move on to section 2, which is essentially Route 28 from West Main Street to about Captain Ellis Lane, so just past CVS and the Strawberry Hill Primary Care location. And then we'll jump quite a bit because if you remember from previous sewer construction last season, much of the work in between section 2 and 3 was off-road in the shared use path, as well as some off-road work near the water pollution control facility. So we'll jump that section where we did not disturb the roadway, and we'll move on to section 3, which is essentially just before Pitcher's Way to just prior to Bierce's Way, the Bierce's Way intersection. And as noted, we're expecting the work to take 3 weeks, about 1 week per section, with work occurring Monday through Thursday evenings. Now we'll look at the Centerville Village Sewer Expansion Project. So as we've previously reported, we have been approved to segment this project into 2 phases, a north phase and a south phase. You'll see the north phase project map on the left-hand portion of your screen, and then right next to that would be the south phase project map. So with the north phase, the design is complete. We've reached 100% design completion, and the construction bid actually was advertised on April 3rd of this year. Bids are due on May 15th, so just a couple weeks away, and we will open those, review, and work towards awarding a construction contract. Now, one thing I wanted to note about this bid is that the Mothers Park pump station and the surrounding properties south of Route 28 are listed as a bid alternate currently. This is a result of pending approvals, which include the Article 97 legislation. Why we did this was to allow us flexibility with the award of the bid as we await those Article 97 approvals. So more to come on that as we work through the bid process and awarding the contract. Property owner outreach and outreach to businesses, as well as all of our typical project communications and construction communications, will start following the bid award. And currently we are on track and anticipating to begin construction of the north phase of this project this coming fall of 2024. Now, the south phase, we continue to advance design. And again, you'll see that in sort of that second map here in that dark orange. We continue to advance that design as well as efforts to site pump station locations and any associated easement options. We'll shift over to the 720 Main Street pump station replacement project. As you may remember, this is part of the town's sewer pump station rehabilitation program, so not necessarily identified as part of the comprehensive wastewater management plan, but as part of our regular ongoing pump station rehabilitation. Specifically, this project is in place to help address capacity concerns within the town's growth incentive zone and to replace the ailing infrastructure located at 720 Main Street currently. So as you may remember, our new pump station is being designed just across the street at 725 Main Street. That on-site excavation work continues. Those on-site work hours are 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And most recently, we've completed quite a bit of the basis of foundation. So we have a Tremi-Pour concrete plug that has been complete. And we've also just recently poured the mat slab, which is basically that sort of, again, real initial pieces of the foundation. So certainly making some progress on that site there. On-site work specifically at 725 Main Street will continue through the summer season. And then we also do have the inroad sewer construction portion. We're currently operating within what we're calling Section 3, which is South Street from Newton Street to C Street. So we've moved past Dumont Drive at this point, past some of the other surrounding neighborhoods there, and we're now really operating and installing our sewer in between Newton Street and C Street. This does require the continued single direction detour of westbound traffic, through traffic specifically from Stevens Street to the West End Rotary. I think at this point, most of the folks who've been driving in that area and the businesses are familiar with the traffic route, and we haven't been seeing any, major heartache there. That work continues 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in road Monday through Friday. And I think everyone will be happy to hear that we are planning to conclude that in-road work as early as the first week of May to allow for demobilization of the construction equipment and some temporary restoration ahead of the summer season, specifically ahead of Memorial Day weekend. We will then revisit the in-road sewer construction this coming fall. And after a beautiful summer season, we'll come back with some additional public outreach and communications regarding what that fall construction schedule will look like. Now we're going to shift gears just slightly, and we're going to take a look at the water pollution control facility. As of our last report at the solids processing facility, we have now transitioned to the project closeout punch list. So sort of, dotting those I's and crossing those T's as we wrap up the solids processing upgrades. We do anticipate completion of that project by next month, May of 2024. And then we have the nitrogen removal and headworks improvements program. So Town Manager Els mentioned this in his Town Manager communications, that this project is currently ranked #1 in the state's 2024 Draft Clean Water Fund intended use plan. We do have some appropriation hearings anticipated at this week's Town Council. And in preparation for that, we did work with the Barnstable Government Access Channel to put together a series of educational videos. These were really developed to help communicate not just the project and the need, but also what some of the costs look like and some of the other factors such as effluent and innovative alternative solutions, how that all factors into the plan and specifically this project. That content is all available on barnstablewaterresources.com, as well as the Barnstable Government Access YouTube channel, specifically on our water quality playlist. And just to sort of reiterate what Town Manager Els said, I know he's providing links to the 2 most recent videos, our revisit to the water pollution control facility, as well as the roundtable discussion about the future of wastewater treatment in Barnstable. I do want to note, though, that we also did provide a email newsletter to our Barnstable Water Resources email subscribers, and that included 2 additional videos for some context as well. One which focuses on really the why behind the CWMP and our water quality needs here on Cape Cod, as well as the original water pollution treatment, water pollution control facility tour. So I really highly encourage everyone to view the full series of videos if you have the time to do so, because I think it really does paint a great picture for just what we're doing here in Barnstable, but also the needs and really the priority that this nitrogen and headworks improvements project places. We've received some fantastic feedback from the community, from our water resources subscribers, as well as on social media. So we look forward to continuing to provide additional educational materials in video format for other projects moving forward. With that said, for specifically the nitrogen removal and headworks improvements project, our basis of design report is in review and we are moving into final design. And we have also recommended, or I should say the manufacturer committee has recommended Veolia ZWeed MBR for the MBR technology, which is the membrane bioreactor technology explained in our most recent water resources videos. So we are excited to move forward with that process. And pending the outcome of appropriations and budgeting, we anticipate construction starting as early as the fall of 2025. And with that said, just to sort of end capped on our water pollution control facility projects, our effluent disposal evaluation continues to progress. We're continuing to host those monthly meetings with Mass DEP and are working diligently with our consultant CDM Smith to discuss various disposal and reuse alternatives for that project. Looking at water quality, so we have the APCC, the Association to Preserve Cape Cod boat ramp stormwater improvement projects. We were specifically working with the APCC on Shebel Pond and boat ramp stormwater improvements at that site. A public meeting was held last month on March 26th, which allowed us to advance and finalize the 25% design plans based off of the public and state feedback. With that said, the APCC has also expressed interest in working with the town to seek similar grant funding for stormwater improvements at Hathaway's Pond. So we're excited to work, collaboratively with the APCC on that effort. And just as a note, the town has funded a capital improvements project for the Hathaway's Pond site. Design began this previous fiscal year of 2024, or I should say the current that we are in now. So we'll look for some synergies with those projects as we move forward with improvements at Hathaway's Pond. Shifting over to the municipal separate stormwater storm sewer system, the MS4 permit updates. At the April 4th, 2024 town council meeting, town council did adopt the stormwater management ordinance. So the next steps for us here at the Department of Public Works are to host a public meeting where we will formally adopt the rules and regulations and then finalize the permit application, which will be available on the Town of Barnstable website. We are currently targeting that public hearing to be sometime in early to mid-May, and we will provide communication and public outreach to alert folks to when that meeting will be hosted. Long Pond Marston's Mills, very exciting that we are, steps closer to the deployment of that floating treatment wetland pilot project. We are anticipating deployment will be sometime May 6th through 7th, weather pending. So I'm sure we'll have some great photos and updated content to share at our next report with that floating treatment in full use and deployment at the pond. And then lastly, cyanobacteria monitoring. Our monitoring program will kick off, or I should say our sampling portion of the program will kick off sometime the week of May 20th, so just a few weeks away. Those water quality updates will be posted on barnstablewaterresources.com. You can see just on the right-hand portion of your screen, a quick screenshot of what that water quality monitoring page looks like on the website. And we've got those water quality reports front and center right at the top above the fold. We also do share those water quality cyanobacteria updates via the My Barnstable app, as well as on all of our town social media. So we highly encourage everyone to make sure that you're subscribed to the app and that you're subscribed to the push updates for the Barnstable Water Resources website, so that as our sampling begins and we begin sharing those water quality reports, you will never miss a beat. You will fully be in the know. And with that, that concludes our water resources management update. Thank you.